Hi, good evening, good day. Thank you for making the time to join our one a day for the letter W today. We are approaching, we have only X, Y, and Z, and we are done with the daily dose for COVID. And we move on to other things. I want to thank you all for sticking by these broadcasts, even when it's been tough, it's been hard, and even the content, to get the content, has been difficult to keep every letter of the alphabet COVID ready and inspirational ready. So today we're going to talk about the WHO. I'm not going to mention anything else about it, just about what it is, when it was created, what it does for mankind, and what's its role in the COVID-19 pandemic. And then we're going to talk about worship and also understanding the pre-internet and post-internet worship atmosphere. Now, let's get started with WHO. WHO was started on the 7th of April 1948. It has a workforce of about 7,000 people in 150 countries. WHO, the rules and further information about WHO are included in the description below in this video. On top of that, WHO is a global entity, and it's been at the forefront of the COVID-19 pandemic. And these are the 5 roles of WHO in COVID-19. Number 1 is to help countries prepare and respond. Number 2 is to provide accurate information and busting dangerous myths. Number 3, ensuring vital supplies reach frontline workers. Number 4, training and mobilizing of health workers. Number 5, the search for a vaccine, of course, things like Gavi and all that. And number 6, helping the poorest and most vulnerable. WHO has been very useful and continues to be useful all around the world as an agent of helping and supporting healthcare and supporting healthcare systems all over the world. Other things about WHO I cannot say, but I do urge you to read the documentation. Most of it is from WHO itself and from the UN, and it will enlighten you about the role of WHO normally and with regard to this pandemic. On the side of worship, and worship by definition is the feeling or expression of reverence and adorations for a deity. Now, for me as a Christian, I could characterize worship into 2 broad categories: the pre-internet worship and the post-internet worship. The pre-internet worship, those who are there at that time would remember that it was much slower to spread. I mean, we had common songs all over the world, not changing much, and also most of the songs were about the intimacy with the Lord and things about love and loving God and forgiveness and healing, and very deep themes, almost like an extension of hymns. Worship back in the day was nice. You were in worship. How would I put it? The atmosphere was electric. And during those times, we also knew that worshippers were held at high esteem. Worship leaders carried the banner of Christ very seriously in their lives. And you'd find many of those people who were worship leaders in the old times stayed that way until their dying days. We speak from the age of the Gaithas onward to Maranatha and a bit of integrity music. Sorry. What is it called? We even had the 700 Club, yes, and our daily bread. They had their choirs and so on. So it was more very vocally driven. Very, very interesting times. Very classic. And that was pre-internet, because you had to buy the music, you had to buy the tapes, and it took time for music to get around. Song sheets, when you bought the music, you got the song sheet. It took long to train. Instruments weren't available. People sang only harmonies. It was really, worship was an exercise. Now, in the post-internet generation, worship has become very upbeat. It's very inspiring, socially forward. It's also very upbeat and danceable. Worship comes in all shapes and sizes. All genres are there. It's not just the long pulling hymn style. There is that, and by that deep intimate worship still exists, but it's like a subset of gospel music now. and now it's called gospel music, and there are rappers and there are dancers, and there's reggae and there's classical and there's instrumental. There is all sorts of things. It's all out there. It's upbeat. It's got a more diverse market, which means even the worshippers are not like holy, reverential. Worshippers are like common guys on the road, people you'd meet. They help you worship. There is no difference. The word of God, the presence of God, the worship of the Lord is still done. The atmosphere is electric as well. But you know what? I don't know where you stand, and I look forward to seeing your comments in the comments below. Are you a pre-internet worshipper or a post-internet worshipper? Please put them in. I want to thank you all for this night. I want to thank you all for this day. I want to thank you all for the letter W. See you tomorrow. God bless you.